Hey there, good afternoon. A lot of questions have been coming up um, because of me posting about doing this Shakti Yatra. Not necessarily questions about the Yatra, those, those are coming also. Um, but people are wondering a lot about sadhana and what it means and why are we doing it. Well, there's a lot of different reasons people do sadhana. So I'm going to just talk about my reasons, my perspective. That's all I can give. I can't give anyone else's perspective. The the idea of sadhana is to do a spiritual practice until it becomes a sadhana. So a sadhana itself is a spiritual practice that perpetuates spiritual practice. So the idea is in Tantra, now this is not going to be the true case in every form, although Vedically it's a little bit different, but in Tantra we are typically beginning with a mantra and possibly moving on to another mantra depending on our level of ability. And the mantra itself has bijaksharas, they're called in Sanskrit. Akshara is a syllable. Bija syllables, bija mantras that involve energies locked up in them that waken up the energy of the deity within your being. So to do a sadhana means to get in touch with the God that lives inside you. Now, which God you're asking, or maybe you don't care. It's not about which God. It's about which, what's the right way to say it? It's about which deity do you connect with the most? Which one is the one that pulls your focus, that pulls your attention, that makes you want to learn what sadhana is? That's first and foremost what you have to figure out. A lot of times people will ask me this, and I have them talk to Guruji and he can look at their chart. In your Vedic astrology chart, there are pointers, directional things, showing which deity might be the right one for you. Doesn't mean that you like that deity, but it means that you can get the most success more quickly if you worship the one that's kind of being pointed to in your chart. No, that doesn't mean you can worship whoever you like, so it doesn't have to be that. That's just one way to look at it. There's also, in India, not in every situation, a Kula Devata, which is the family deity. Then there's a Grama Devata, which is the village deity. Kshetrapala. Kshetrapala is the protector of a kshetra. Kshetra is a whole space, a whole area. So typically a temple will be there for that person, for that being, for that being, as the protector of that kshetra. You can also like those and be drawn to those. That is something that is possible. But it's very much about who your heart pulls you to. Now, I was raised in the US, going to church as a Christian, and it never made much sense to me. Although I didn't have anything against Jesus or against the teachings, the biggest part that I had the problem with was with the people. Because the people in several of the Christian faiths, not all, and not all people do this, often are trying to live what they have been taught the scriptures mean. And they're pushing that on you because they haven't figured it out. So they're pushing to try and get you to bend the same way they had to do. Is that right? No. But when I came to India, even before I came to India, I was pulled a little bit away from that toward the devatas of different cultures. Indian cultures, especially after I started started practicing yoga. Shiva especially. Shiva really did something for me. Just the thought of Shiva, not necessarily that I knew anything about him in the way that they worship him here. I only knew about him what I heard or what I read online. And Kali kind of kept coming around, and I was trying to avoid Kali because she looked so fierce, and I didn't know if I should be scared of her, if I'm supposed to worship her, what I'm supposed to do. When I finally embraced Kali, then I felt a different thing. I felt the connection, and it went straight to my heart and straight to my gut. It was my solar plexus. You can really feel it, and you can tell that she was the one for me. And then I was introduced to Pratyangita at the same time, and I couldn't get her out of my mind. Couldn't get her out of my being. And finally, when I found Guruji's temple and I came here, then I knew this was the right place for me. Kali and Pratyangita are both energetic aspects of the same Shakti. So it doesn't mean that I'm worshiping the wrong thing, but it's what you feel and hear that you have to go with. So that led me to going to Kamakhya. That's why I'm doing this yatra, so people can get the idea of what Shakti feels like within their own being at the locations of these powerful centers on the planet. So when you get a mantra of the devata that your heart is singing about, that your gut is telling you, yes, that's the right one, and you start doing it, it's different. You don't really know it. It's not a mantra from a book. It's not a YouTube channel thing that you're just listening to because you like the sound of it. It takes you inside yourself. It's not meant to go out, it's meant to come in. Same thing I said before about Pratyangita in another video. Pratyan means to take your indriyas, your senses that are going outward, and turn them inside and feel what's going on inside, and learn to read the book of you, your own book, this book. Not necessarily the physical book, but this energetic, spiritual book that's there. There's a lot of information there. And there's an interesting way to approach it is to do mantra sadhana. And you start to feel something different, and then that's when you start to realize, oh, I've been doing this yoga practice for years, and they were always calling it sadhana, but I wasn't getting this feeling. Although my physical body and my energy and I was feeling better, and I was feeling good, and I was getting my energy channels open, I was getting prana moving. But I wasn't accumulating Shakti to the point that it clears out all of your consciousness, to the point that it clears the shit out of your consciousness. The Shakti has to come in and move into all the corners of your being, not just your physical being, but your aura, that have been stored there for so long, and push them out. And we have to face them when they come up and go out. So that's a cleansing process. Sadhana will take you on a cleansing process. If you're doing yoga sadhana as an asana practice and the 8-limb practice, it can do the same thing, but it's a slower process. If you're doing a mantra sadhana with it, so that gets your physical body sweating, get your muscles really strong, get your joints open and safely secured, get your spine moving, your spinal energy. The energy of your sushumna is equivalent to that of your spinal column with your central nervous system. Get your nervous system intact, get your nervous system all toned so that it can handle things when life throws them at you. Then you do this mantra sadhana on top of that. You're going to have an effect that's coming from all sides to the inside. It's not just going to be taking care of manas is mind. Mantra is to clear out the mind also. But it's also weave it in with the rest of your being, because they're not separate. The body and the spirit and the energy and all these things that we say, and God even, it's all one thing. And the sadhana is to take you deep inside yourself, to clear out the bullshit that you've stored there for so long, and to get you to understand that living inside you is this thing that we call God, is a big energy, it's a big amount of Shakti. And when all of this stuff is cleared out of your consciousness, cleared out of your energetic being, cleared out of your physical being even, cleared out of you, whatever you're calling you, then when you're doing the mantra, the Shakti that comes in has a place to be, and it can clear out even further. And the true aspect of sadhana, and most people think it's to get full of Shakti. Yes, in many ways it is. But that fullness of Shakti empties you out. You should feel empty when you're finished. Empty meaning you don't have a lot of, maybe even inspiration. You just have an idea that I'm okay. I feel complete and whole right here, right now, sitting and doing nothing. Sitting on this rock staring at this tree. I'm perfectly fine. I'm perfectly happy. I have nothing more to gain right now. But to find that comfort in every aspect of your life, not just when you're sitting there on a rock. But say you're driving in traffic and someone cuts you off and you want to curse them out, but you catch yourself and you say, no, they're just doing the best that they know how to do. And I'll do the best that I know how to do, and I'm not going to do that. Or sometimes you let it out, and it's okay also, because that means that piece of your consciousness hasn't cleared out all of its crap. And you're just on that path still. I think you're always accumulating and you're always clearing out if you're doing sadhana, and you're going to be doing japam, mantra sadhana for the rest of your life if you're doing tantra. You can get to a point where you don't have to do it anymore, but there's some comfort in having your mantras, to do them, to live them, to be with them at all times, and find that empty space again, and be happy. But happiness isn't what we think it is. It's this overjoyed thing that's caused by an outside substance. It's just an emptiness and an okayness with that emptiness. So more like a santosha, like a contentment. That's more what happiness really is. Yeah. So if you're doing your sadhana and you're getting full and a lot of inspiration, you still haven't cleared out everything. Not that that's not a good effect. And a lot of people, creative types especially, do it for that reason, because then they can create more. And they want to be able to create more. Ow, there's a thorn in my foot. So that's why they're doing it. Why are you doing it? Why you're doing it is your business. But the ideal of it is to get to this place of emptiness. I know it's not what you wanted to hear, but it's what you're looking for. So that's it. That's what sadhana is. That's what sadhana can be. Sadhana can be many other things, but then that's just your idea of what sadhana is. It's not really what it is. We all have different levels of sadhana we're going to also. Some days I'm getting there and I'm getting to a deep, deep place. And some days I'm not getting to that deep, deep place. I'm just kind of clearing out the shit on the surface so that I feel okay throughout the day. That's okay too. Nothing wrong with that. Ooh, sorry, I have to bend over to get under this tree. Yeah, it's what it is, and it's okay that it is what it is. It's your sadhana. It's going to be whatever you make of it, and that's all you can expect. It won't be something someone tells you it's going to be, like this video. I'm telling you what it is. You're going to make of it what you want of it, right? Yeah. That's all I got. Okay, have a good day.